All right.
April.
Yeah. So I was a little stumped with the theme this round of reimagination. Um, but what I kept coming back to when I pondered and considered that theme and word was just like a kaleidoscope, how you're looking at something and it's constantly recreating, reconfiguring. So this is what came of the kaleidoscope inspiration. Uh, just little clippings from magazines and just fun patterns and bright colors and stuff like that.
I was really surprised to receive this from you because I hadn't seen anything like this yet come from you. But it was a really pleasant surprise, and I could see you put a lot of time and work into it. So I just was like, okay, well, I've got to come back with something clever for her. Um, and I thought about it and I thought about it, and then I ended up on something with the geometry. So I do a lot of like in the summer, I go to the beach. And one of the things I do is I collect the rocks. I spend like a good hour and a half just combing for like the rock, just rocks that speak to me. And then I spend like another hour just like trying to stack them as high as I can. And it's become like a meditation ritual. But I wasn't at the beach. So I took some of the rocks that I had found that I had collected, and I sat on the grass really early in the morning before my son and my grandfather woke up. And I was trying to drop them into a pattern and sort of give myself a bit of a challenge. And then I would just drop it and watch the grass, like how it bent and then how it sprung. And then I waited for everything to stop and then I dropped the next one. So it turned into a little bit of a meditative exercise and a cool pattern.
Yeah, I really liked that. I there's a lot to look at in the picture, a lot of shape and color, and the bottom of the swirls or like the tiny parts of the swirls kind of just draw you in. Um, so yeah, it was neat. But again, I was like, oh, where do I go with this? So Rhiannon commented on the geometric pattern that she was trying to mimic, and then so I was camping, and uh, yeah, it was so neat. There's like tons and tons of Canadian geese, and they had trampled all over the whole beach, and it left this like crazy cool pattern of their feet. And it's like these little like triangular little patterns. So like I loved that. And then I took a bunch of pictures of it because it was just so neat. It's completely covered, right? And then I just layered it with a picture of just this huge mass of the Canadian geese that were there over top. So yeah.
Yeah. And I just thought it was the coolest thing when I got it. I was like, yeah, because like that's so fascinating the way the beach looks afterwards
Yeah.
when they've been all running all over the place. They take up every single spot there is to take up. And yeah, and then the creativity with the overlay and then sort of letting some of the opacity go and still like a really quality picture, but just enough to see it underneath. So I thought that was really creative.
Thanks.
And then it reminded me of a really small painting I had done a while back of geese. And what I did was I just I'm gonna play it, I guess. So yeah, I just put it through a little bit of a light show here.
So yeah, I liked that. It was neat that it, reminded her something she'd already done, and the Canada geese are there. But the movement obviously is what caught my attention, and I was like, I don't know how to respond with something with movement. But then here, this stick just spoke to me. Like we had a fire going at the campground, and I've never seen anything like this. Like we threw it in to burn, and it just starts smoking from the other end. And I was like, this is the coolest thing. So like I recorded it. And then when I was considering, like I recorded just because I liked it. And then when I was looking at Rhiannon's submission, then I was like, I need to use this. So I really slowed it down. And yeah, that was what I sent her back.
1 second, I'll be right back.
So I guess the only way to make that one transparent overlay picture with the geese in the sand.
Hmm.
Now, my experience with geese and sand and geese in general while camping is they poop everywhere. So
They
imagine taking a paintbrush and
yeah.
creating another overlay of geese grease, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it was surprising. There wasn't a ton of their droppings all over it, but
Oh,
yeah.
we're talking about the geese.
We're talking about the
Oh,
geese. I said,
yeah.
Do we see any
imagine
poop in this
taking,
picture? I don't know.
um, yeah, we had some interesting camping experiences this summer with a lot of infestations of different things.
Oh, yikes.
Gypsy moths, mostly.
Hmm.
Oh.
Have you ever seen a lunar moth?
I'm not sure,
Oh my
but I
goodness.
know.
Scariest thing ever. Um, I went up to Manitoulin and I thought I'm gonna take my paints. I'm gonna sit on the beach. Nobody else is there. And I started painting away at dusk. And before I do it, it was really dark. So my son took the flashlight on his phone and flashed it so that I can continue painting. And this giant moth, I was like, what the heck is that? And then like the locals are like, oh,
Run!
those are lunar moths. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow.
If you say so. I was like, let's get out of here. There's paint all over the canvas and like sand everywhere. Oh, okay. So yeah, the orange inspired me. So I did an underpainting of all orange, which I haven't done in a long time. I really love the way that looks, but it's not something that I do very often because I guess I'm just sort of lazy, maybe. I don't know if this is gonna, I don't know if this will work or not. I clicked on it. You let me know if you can see. Can you guys see the screen
Yep.
change? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so I just filmed it. I thought that'd be fun to send back since we were doing videos of just like really quick process of all the orange underneath, covering it with some blue. Oh, and some pink. There's some pink in there. And it's kind of fun to watch back. This video from beginning to end, like the whole painting took me about 2.5 hours. So this would be probably about an hour and 20 minutes that we're watching right now. In, I don't know, is it 1 minute, 2 minutes? So it's a lot more stressful to actually paint it. But then when I watch it back, I'm like, why was I stressed?
Mhm.
It looks so easy. Okay, I'm going to click back, see what happens. Can you guys see?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, and then this was the end result of that. And
Beautiful.
our last one was outside, so I put mine outside against a bush and took a quick pic.
Yeah, I love that.
The orange is in the picture on the front too. So I added some orange in the front.
So I thought it was super cool what she did. I just really loved watching the process that she went through and the colors. And it was on my mind to come up with something. And obviously I've always called that flower the Indian paintbrush. You had a slightly different name.
Yeah, the devil's paintbrush.
Devil's
I
paintbrush.
grew up in northern Ontario on the top of Lake Superior though.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, but that image of that very vibrant flower obviously was there, and the recurring theme of orange coming through in our thing, in our conversation. And then yeah, Thanksgiving night, I was at my in-laws and we were eating outside, and then the sky was just like incredible. I'm like, sorry guys, I gotta go run. And like I just started taking all these pictures because like when does it look like that? Especially with that yellow being like so fluorescent, and it was just totally captivating. So I took a few different pictures of different, like zooming in, that they're obviously out in the country. But yeah, I zoomed in here, and I really liked just how everything was going with the shadows and the colors and the harvesty sort of environment.
I just loved the like the pale yellow to bright orange to like a mauve, and then like there's like some, lavender in there. Like it's a crazy picture.
Mhm.
Really cool. And then the little shack inspired me, of course. So I painted the little shack. And this one was an orange underpainting as well, to stick with the theme of orange being in there, but no orange made it to the front, I don't think. Nope. But yep, that's my little shack.
Yeah, I just loved that. I love the colors, like I guess I didn't know that the orange underlay was in this one too, but you can kind of get a sense of that once once you know it's there. Um, but I just thought it was so, cute and fairy tale like, kind of whimsical, and just I loved it so much. Um, and then it was really like the clouds that inspired me from hers. And I actually took a couple pictures the other day when we had that crazy storm here in St. Catharines, and it kind of inspired me to try and capture that with watercolors. So yeah, that's my version of the storm. And her little hut or little cottage was just so cute. So I reimagined that and put one in here that looks like people are hanging out in to stay safe from the impending storm.
Yeah, I noticed the addition of the smoke. It's like mine is a sunny, bright day, and yours is sort of like we need to light the fire.
Yeah.
It's very cool to get this one at the end. I really enjoyed seeing it. I wasn't expecting it. So
Yeah,
it's nice to
it
get
took
one
me
more.
a long time to do because I didn't realize how much I'm not familiar with doing clouds, especially that express themselves so much.
Yeah,
A long time.
clouds can be tricky.
Hmm.
All right. So I guess that's everybody who's here.
Rhiannon, the fairy tale one reminds me of Ben and Holly's Little Kingdom.
This one?
If you've ever watched that one. Yeah.
No.
It's another little Brit one, Ben and Holly's Little Kingdom. And I expect like the ladybug is like this giant pet to them, and these little people wander out, and it's really funny. But it looks just like their little cotton candy clouds. And
Very cool. Yeah. I don't really know what inspired the colors. It was just the day, whatever was in my paint bag that day.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, they turned out well.
I like the fire.
This was a very interesting one. We went all over the place.
We sure did. But it made it really fun and a
Yeah.
challenge.
Yep. So that's all that we have for who's here today. Do you guys want to comment on any other ones that maybe stood out to you from other people's, or I wish Adele was here. We went back and forth with the poetry and it was interesting. It was tough to go back and forth like that. All right, I think that's it, except for there's one above here that we haven't really looked at, and I think there's a lot of beautiful things in here, so I think it's worth a look. Okay, so Myrta has done 3 of these exchanges now, and I'm always really like, I love what she does. So this was hers, and then this response was really beautiful too. This is the first time that I can't remember what her name is. Yeah, Kate. It's the first time Kate participated. So it was interesting to see what she came forward with. And actually, Myrta's style is a little bit different this time around because Susan, you've seen a lot of her stuff too, right? It's a little bit more playful usually. She went a little deep on this. This was really cool too. From Kate, the mushrooms and the ivy and the outer space. And the baby. If you get a chance, read through all of these. They're quite deep. And then this one was like, whoa, like the inner self sort of theme. Yeah. So I thought that one was really cool too. There you go.
It's a good assortment this round.
Yeah, for sure. Really expressive as far as like emotions go and explorative. Yeah, so it was nice. It was nice to see people exploring and not trying to be like perfect, like not trying